All right, what's up, everybody? This is the third episode of the Guy Zone. We are coming to you live tonight. We've got three other people besides me on here: Austin Calvert, my normal co-host, as well as Neil Sullivan and Peyton Hubbard. And tonight we're just going to be breaking down a couple different topics, but mainly we're going to start off doing some reactions, some post NFL draft breakdown. And we had Fub on to cover the Browns a little more in depth, get somebody who really follows them at a higher level than us. Just going to try and get some reactions from him, see what he's thinking about, the Shadur Sanders draft pick and whatever thing else, that the Browns did in the draft. So we're going to get it started off. We're going to see here. Who do we think the odd man out is in Cleveland? We know they've drafted two quarterbacks in the draft. They have Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco already on the roster, as well as Deshaun Watson. He is out for the year. But who do we think that the odd man out is, and who do we think is going to be starting for the Browns on week one? Calvert, we'll let you go ahead and take off, and we'll see who you're thinking is going to be the odd man out. Who's going to get cut out of these four?
Well, it really doesn't matter because they build a room without their guy. They canned Baker. Who cares? But
Yeah.
personally, I think for me, it's probably going to be your boy Flacco.
Okay.
You got the experience veteran there. I'm rolling with Flacco. I know Kenny Pickett's sitting there, but it won't be either of these guys that got drafted, in my opinion. We'll see how that works out.
Okay. Neil, what do you got? Fub, we're going to come to you
Hell
last.
no.
No?
Hell no.
Who are you thinking? Which one of the four?
George Sanders
Wow.
may not be on the NFL roster.
Yeah. Okay. So you think Shadur Sanders is out?
It's interesting.
He's not that good. He's just not that fucking good. Fub, you're a Browns fan. You can tell me how bad they all suck. Honestly, Calvert, Joe Flacco's the best fucking one. But go ahead.
So I got a lot to say when it comes to Shadur, but I'll say that for a little bit later. But as far as the odd man out, I agree with Calvert. It's got to be Flacco. You're going to stick with a young quarterback room. Keep the young guys. Deshaun Watson's hurt. I don't think he'll be a Brown much longer. Maybe a year and a half, but that's another topic, another conversation. But it's definitely going to be Joe Flacco, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I know what he did.
He throws the
last
ball better
year.
than anybody. Get rid of him.
I know what he's done for Stefanski, but
Calvert, what you got?
I
He's the odd man
completely misunderstood. I was talking about who's going to be your starter.
Oh, okay. You
No,
think
Joe
Flacco?
Flacco's the.
Who do you think they're
I'm
getting
so
rid
sorry,
of then?
guys.
Oh, so Calvert
I'm
agrees
blushing.
with me.
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I completely misunderstood the question.
Yeah.
Can it to a hard day of work and walking in here and messing with a MacBook.
So
Lord have
who
mercy.
do you think they're getting rid of then?
Dude, either of them. It doesn't matter.
Neither one of them
It
are
doesn't
good.
matter.
First off, Dylan
Whichever
Gabriel is built like Frodo Baggins. He's 5'7", 135 pounds, and a lefty.
Yeah, Dylan
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is the guy that I definitely think he's the odd man out. I know they drafted him ahead of Shadur, but if you just look at what the guys did on the fields, I don't see Dylan Gabriel panning out in the NFL. There's not been that
Probably
many
throws
guys.
it better than Sanders, though.
And he might, but just as far as consistency goes, I like the accuracy Shadur brings. I know there's a lot of off the field stuff, but I think Dylan Gabriel, there's not a lot of guys at that size, at that stature that play like he
Yeah.
does that make it.
He may come out with a rap song like fucking G-Lo in a week, and he may not ever play football again. So he ain't that
To be clear,
good.
though, to be clear for me personally, and Fub, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were a big Browns fan, but to me personally, they should find a way to get a time machine and go back with the only guy that's got them to a playoff game in a long time. You take all those guys that you have on that quarterback roster, you bundle them up, and whatever pick you got to do, and you go over there to whatever you can do to try to get Baker Mayfield back. That's my opinion. I think that
Well,
the
they're not gonna
quarterback
do
room
that.
Well,
has
the
been
Bucks aren't
irrelevant
going to let him go.
since.
Yeah,
Ba-
that's,
Baker
I know,
Mayfield,
I
you-
know. Time
you know,
machine, baby.
we're living in rainbow
Baker
land
fan.
now.
Yeah.
big Baker fan. Went and seen him play in New Orleans his rookie season. That was when Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback.
Oh my
You know,
God.
and I lost $50 that game to a New Orleans Saints fan who was barking in my ear all game, by the way.
Shocker.
But but the Browns are the Browns. I'm proud of them. I hate them, but I love them. It is what it is. I'm gonna stick with them though. You can't fault me for that. You can't fault me for. You can call me a dumbass.
No,
You can't
you
fault me
can't
for
fault
it.
somebody for being a homer. Like that's his team. That's who he sticks with them even through
I get
the
it,
ups and downs.
But like you're an Alabama fan, right, Fuck?
Yeah. So I mean,
Where'd you get
You
used
can't
to
call me-
losing?
Well, there was the 2002 to 2006
Yeah,
in our
fuck you. We
lifetime, in
don't
our
talk
recent
about
memory.
that.
Remember
So
the fear of the thumb when Auburn had beat us like
Yeah,
5 times,
yeah, I
and
know. It took Julio Jones, Mount Cody, just a
and
lot.
the greatest coach of all time
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
altogether.
it did.
so
And Javier Arenas, don't forget Javier Arenas.
yeah.
Javi was on
Him
that
at
team.
Mule Day one.
Who do you guys think wins the job? Anybody? Calvert? What are you
You
thinking?
talking
Yeah,
week one or finishing the
I
Yeah,
think
season?
yeah, yeah.
I
Week
really,
one. I think
yeah,
week
week
one.
one for sure. Joe
And if
Flacco,
you
in my
think if
opinion.
it changes, I mean, who do you think it changes to, or do you think Joe Flacco holds it all year?
Well, for me personally, it's really going to come down to the contest. Is Kenny Pickett going to wake up, or one of these guys going to, are they going to jump him? And to be fair, I think that's where your cuts are going to come from between Kenny Pickett and these few guys. They have like the same chance, in my opinion. Um,
It's very close. I think.
I think Kenny
yeah, so
Pickett's better than
I
both of
think
them.
Joe Flacco, and you know what, he very well may be. I hope he is. And I forgot my card in there. This was going to be a huge selling point for me. I forgot I was really going to push Kenny Pickett because I have a stained glass mosaic rookie card, Kenny Pickett, that I've been crying over
Fuck yeah,
because
I'd
it was
push
like
it too.
$300 raw. Yeah, I should have went with Kenny Pickett and tried to sell it for somebody for $50 on the low, dude.
Yeah.
$45 if it's cash. But no, that's what I'm going with.
Bob, who are you thinking?
So my thing is, I'm going to stick with what I said about my boy Flacco. Love him, love what he did for us, wearing that orange and brown. But I think still think he's the odd man out, and that leaves Kenny Pickett, in my opinion. The last 2 years he's steadily progressed. He hasn't been, the guy. He hasn't been a All-Pro quarterback. He hadn't been half of that. But that's not what the Browns need this year. The Browns are playing for the next year's draft. This
Yeah.
season is just we're
They
getting
ain't
through
getting it
this
done
season.
this
At
year.
least you're real about it.
Yeah.
Listen, why not start with a young quarterback and Kenny Pickett? See if he pans out into something.
I get
If you
that.
win a few games,
Makes sense.
and he
That's fair.
progresses, maybe
He wasn't
he's a
like he played pretty good last year. Whenever he came in when Jalen Hurts
He's not
was hurt.
dog shit. He's
No,
not dog
yeah,
shit.
like
he's really not.
he steadily progressed. Like he started off real slow,
Yep.
real slow. But he steadily progressed. He only came in 5 games last season. Had just below a 80 QBR. I mean,
He's not terrible.
maybe you can
He's not terrible.
skyrocket that. Who knows?
Yeah,
You
no,
get
he's
him,
not.
in the starting role for the
There it
whole
is.
season. Who knows?
Fuck
There it is.
yeah.
My man.
Yeah.
My man.
I've changed to Kenny Pickett. This is $29.99. I'm now going down on my price here.
Yeah. Well, unlike y'all. Well, actually, who do you think?
Week one's gonna be between Joe and Kenny. By the end of the year, it's up in the air. But I think the Hobbit and the superstar icon that's never been good at football, that's somehow fucking famous, are both looking for a job. So it really doesn't
Is he
matter.
going to the CFL, Neil? Did you see where the Argonauts put him on their little thing to have exclusive rights to him?
I'll be honest
if
with you,
he's
I
on a
did
roster?
not, but it's a good fucking idea. Dude ain't that good. We may see him at fucking Itawamba Community College next year. So if he had any eligibility left, I'm not high on it.
You're gonna hate my take then. I definitely think Joe Flacco is the starter to start the year,
I already
and
had
I think he probably goes 8, 9, maybe even 10 games. Now, depending on how the Browns do in those games, I think that will play a role in how they assess the situation throughout the year. But I think if he does progress, I think there's a shot that Shadur could play. Like you got to
100%.
look at the
100%.
situation for the Browns. One, he's gonna sell tickets. You cannot tell
Yeah.
me he's not going to sell tickets, whether you like him or you hate
Cleveland's
him.
a
He's gonna
great
sell
place to
tickets.
go watch a game.
Regardless of where he's at. Like he's gonna sell tickets. The Cleveland fans are very proud of their team. Like they show up. I'll give them that.
Dude,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
not a fan base unlike him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it
I've
don't
only
take
ever
much to make them
experienced-
proud. I've been to Cleveland. It's, yeah.
So, Fub, was there anything as a Browns fan that stuck out to you that you did or did not like that the Browns did in the draft this year?
Two things that stand out that I do like and one that I hate. I'll start off with the one that I hate is Carson Schwessinger taken with the 33rd
Captain
pick.
America, you didn't like that.
Yeah, okay, listen. Has the potential to be an all-pro linebacker. Very good player, very athletic linebacker. I think he could develop into something, being a day one starter for
Let me cut you off
7, 8.
for just a second. These two do not have any idea who you're talking about. I feel like.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know.
You know him?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I
Do
don't
you
have,
do you know who he
I
is?
don't have a clue.
No,
So-
I have no
I
idea.
give zero fucks who he's talking about. Let me tell you why. They drafted 2 fucking quarterbacks that both suck.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to
Carson,
that. Hold on.
so Carson Swedinger, he was a linebacker at UCLA. He's a former walk-on who ended up being
Love
an
that.
All-American last year.
Congrats.
First team
Yeah,
All-American.
dude's a stud.
Yeah.
Dude is a stud. But my problem with it is we've got the 33rd, and I think we had the 35th.
Something like that.
36.
36.
36.
Okay. Okay. So this kind of goes hand in hand with what I love about the draft. We had Luther Burden III on the board. We had the opportunity to bring him to Cleveland
Yeah.
But you didn't.
alongside the pick that I love in
Quinshon.
Quinshaw Judkins.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I mean, I'm just ready for Madden 26 to come out so I can spam that B button.
He did that
with
spin with
Quinshon.
Quinshon. Calvert knows about that
Yes,
spin
sir.
on Quinshon Judkins.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy what'll get you hard, folks.
And another question I got, this one is kind of for everybody. The Browns over/under win total is set at 5.5 this year. Do you guys think they go over or under 5.5 total wins?
You know what? Put me 200 on the under.
I'll place it as soon as we get done.
Galbert, what do you like?
Hey, let's hope they don't. Well, and me personally, if I was a Browns fan, I'd just be afraid that Shadur or Dylan Gabriel did decide to just be the man, or Kenny Pickett. And as soon as they get to a playoff, whoa, we're going to lose draft picks. Let's trade that guy. So that's what I would be afraid of, personally.
Well, we can talk about what
we're playing
is.
for Arch Manning.
I think there's a shot they go over though. Guys. Like, you know how many the percentage of NFL games that are decided by one score, and I understand like later in the year. I'm not talking about that because later in the year they get the divisional play and their division's absolutely loaded. But out of conference, you don't think Joe Flacco can go win some games? I mean, look what he did at the end of the year when he came in 2 years ago.
You want my answer first?
Yeah.
Or- all right. If I'm on the roster at the Cleveland Browns, I'm making a resume and I'm applying to every plant, UPS, any Alabama Power, any good job you can get in that area because we suck and I'm not going to play football much longer. And so, whatever.
So as a Browns fan, you know, when we're at this state, when we have this team going into a season,
Let me stop
even
you.
though the
What do you
draft-
mean win? It's always like they've always
we've had
sucked.
some good years. Well, listen, we got a playoff win a few
You
years
got some
back.
Super
Oh,
Bowl
God.
ads. Now it's been a while, but you do have
Hey,
some Super Bowls.
that was huge. That was huge for the Browns now.
Okay.
But when we're going into a season like this, and now even
Baker
though the
Mayfield.
draft is, even though the draft just ended, we're already looking forward to that top 3 pick next season.
Yeah.
That as a
You're
Browns
gonna have
fan, that's where we get that hype and we get that because we don't get it during the fucking season, you know.
So you're telling me you've built an organization off a dream of a draft pick?
That's what they've been over the last 10 years.
How'd that
That's
work
all
out?
their fans have had excited about.
Hey, how'd that work out, Manziel? Couldn't get him off the coat. Yeah, so
You're right. You're right.
I know.
And you know that's another thing that I hate. The Browns are going to, even though the Browns had arguably one of the better drafts out of all 32 teams. Why do we take 2 quarterbacks? I don't give a damn. Shadur's on still on the
Yeah,
board.
I think
they could have
messed up.
drafted Trent
if
Richardson
I think they
again.
realized they messed up. I think that's what happened.
Yes, that's what I hate.
I mean, fuck, man.
That's what I hate so much about it is like, and I know the Raiders did it with the 2 FCS quarterbacks who played each other this year, from Montana State, anyways, but it doesn't make much sense to me as a Browns fan, and I don't like it.
No,
I don't
it,
like
it doesn't
I love
make
the- I love
sense
the fact-
anyway.
I love the.
I've got an example where it worked out really well for a franchise, though, when you draft 2 quarterbacks in the draft. When the Washington football team, we'll just say that, when the Washington football team back in the day, when they drafted
Redskins.
RG3. Yeah, it's the Redskins.
We just got canceled.
Yeah. When they
We were
drafted,
never anything.
But when they drafted RG3, they came back in like the 4th or 5th round and drafted Kirk Cousins. Now, RG3 was great his rookie year, but they needed Kirk Cousins, and he ended up being a great quarterback.
Boy, if they could have took Kirk's ACL and gave it to fucking RG3, they may be good.
Yeah.
Hot take. I love what the Seahawks did. This is completely off topic, but the Browns should have done what the Seahawks did. And I assume the Seahawks have a plan for Jalen Milroe that is not necessary. He's a Taysom Hill type quarterback.
It could be
right?
possible.
Why
That
didn't the
would be great.
Browns?
Yeah.
Why didn't the Browns not fucking take Jalen Milroe when he was on? Was he on the board? He was on the board when
Yeah.
they took
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel?
Absolutely.
Why? Wait, he would have been electric. You could have built, not necessarily built an offense around him, but you could have made so many plays
There's a
for
lot of
that man.
packages and
He's
stuff.
just,
Absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
speaking of guys that were left out there, what about Quinn Ewers and Will Howard?
I like Will Howard. Quinn Ewers, I was a little lower on, but man, Will Howard, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers got a really good draft.
Both too private school and white for me.
They don't have
Yeah,
that
yeah.
dog in
Quinn
them,
Ewers
not
was
Neil.
better with the mullet, dude. With the mullet,
Absolutely.
he was gunslinging.
He was drinking, doing coke. He was slinging it. Now,
Hey, can we get a little? A little dance
I
going?
don't know if it comes out. It's here.
So now the next one we got was, what do you guys think about the Bills? So in their draft, they were lacking at the wide receiver position last year after losing Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. They did okay still, but a lot of that I feel like has to do with Josh Allen. Kind of like, Tom Brady elevated receivers in his career. I feel like Josh Allen kind of did the same last year. But then you look at the seasons where the Patriots went out and got Brady a receiver with like Randy Moss, for example. Why didn't the Bills try to pursue that? I understand they had other needs, but why not draft a receiver sometime before the 7th round?
I'll go first here.
Go ahead.
I guess they'll just run that motherfucker 40 times a game and throw it 35. So,
Yeah. Bub, any idea? Any topics?
So my thing is, not necessarily bringing it back to the Browns, but they made a Browns choice by not taking a wide receiver, in my opinion.
that's good.
It's very Browns, very Cleveland of them. So I'll leave it at that.
Galbert, you got anything on that?
Sorry,
2 minutes.
I crashed my stuff here.
Oh, okay.
I got 2 minutes.
Put him
I
on the
was
clock.
kidding. You don't have
Well,
that long.
hey, listen. No, on a serious note, on a serious note, do they have anybody that they're going for in the free agency? That's what I was sitting here trying to find right here.
I don't know if there's
So
any big
what-
names left available to make a
Calvert.
difference.
For fuck's sakes, if they're relying on free agency, he ain't a stud.
I'm sorry, I didn't necessarily mean free agency, just anybody to trade for. Because I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
that's
some of the-
possible, I guess.
some of the teams. So right here it says they didn't draft a wide receiver in the first 5 rounds of the draft due to a perceived lack of deep pool of available talent at the position, and they believe that defensive improvements were a higher priority.
And I could see
So
that.
there's your politically correct answer. I was just wondering if maybe they were fishing for somebody as well. Add in somebody like somebody that's a second or third guy at another team, whatever.
Yeah.
All
I
All right.
don't like it.
So, so from then, we also have another team that kind of made kind of a hint in their draft and what they're doing with their team. The Ravens decided to draft a kicker for the first time in their 30-year history. They selected Tyler Loop in the 6th round. I feel like that's the first sign that the Ravens are preparing for a life after Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of allegations surrounding him and everything, and I
A
think
lot.
this is yeah.
He's gonna end up at the Browns, dude. Look, hold on a second.
No, we don't want it. We've already got this on. We don't want it.
Right
We
here,
don't want
since
it.
he can't go backwards and get on Georgia's roster with his allegations, he's coming to the Browns, dude. There's
Calvert.
no doubt.
Calvert.
Justin Tucker will kick
Calvert.
in Cleveland.
Calvert. They can't let Deshaun Watson and him live in Cleveland. Every massage parlor will shut down. So, no.
People will mass exodus.
Yeah, no.
They will have a chance. They will have a chance, dude. They'll have a chance.
All right, so we also have another team that we're going to discuss. This will be our last team that we discuss as far as the NFL draft breakdowns. We're going to dig into the team a little bit more as well, though. Do we think the Panthers did enough in the draft to improve their stock and possibly get into a playoff position? They drafted Ted McMillan, their first-round pick. They also went and addressed their serious need at pass rusher with a couple picks for pass rushers in the draft, including Nick Scorton out of A&M. Do we think they did enough to make a playoff spot, or are they still going to be terrible?
They'll be better in Cleveland. That was a shot at Fub.
I'll second that. I'll second
But they
that.
really will be better than
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Just
Yeah,
do we think they make it? The playoff
Well,
spot?
for me personally, the NFC South is kind of the perfect scenario for these guys, and I know
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
they ended with a little momentum last year, and
Yeah.
I think we had talked earlier They went down 4-5 in the stretch, but they had, I think it was 5 games there that were within a score.
Yeah,
Um,
5 games with
and
him
then
touchdown.
adding the guys we're talking about, and there's some rumors around, some defensive guys that they're going for right now. But 5 games within a score, you turn that around, you're looking at a 9-8 or a 10-7. So if we're just talking about, for me personally, do I think it's possible for them to pull a wild card? Yeah, but I think that would be the ceiling for what they went for. Um, Turn the program around. I like Bryce Young. I think that Bryce Young does have some upside. I think that settling things in. I'm looking forward to seeing it. What do you think?
Bub, you got something you saying?
I agree. I mean, ceiling of making a wild card, yeah. Do I think it happens? No. But I think Bryce makes strides this year. I think Bryce kind of settles down, and he's their guy. He's their guy of the future. He pretty much proved it last season on the back half of it. But I think he still has more to prove, and I think he does it this year. And there's, in my opinion, I think there still has to be more done to help him.
A lot more.
You know.
Panthers are terrible. They're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
They were terrible last year. They're not going to be good. I understand there was a lot of one-score games, but there's a lot of one-score games in general in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's all about how you can win in those moments.
Yeah.
You got to pull it out.
And I don't think the Panthers do it. I know everybody here, Alabama fans, Bryce Young, I'm not high on him, never have been. I don't think he's the guy. I think that if you've ever looked at the breakdown from the trade that the Panthers had to go up and get him, me and Calvert were talking about this earlier.
They lost.
Did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think
agree.
anybody would
I
argue
agree.
that.
No.
No.
Yeah. So I don't.
I
Well,
think
they're on
Bryce,
a 7-year drought for playoffs as well.
Yeah.
7-year playoff drought.
Yeah,
not
shout out Cam Newton. Anyways,
yeah.
I do think Bryce Young can play in the NFL. I'll be the first person to say I was wrong about him. I don't think he was that good, but he looked really good the back half.
He made some improvements, that's for sure.
That's what I meant.
Regardless how good he looked, they're still a shit ass team.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Better than Cleveland, Fub, but still shit ass team.
Do you want me to take the beanie off? Do I need to take the robe off? What will please you, Nick?
I'm just saying they're bad. Yeah.
Well, look.
I agree.
So right here, I pulled up some stats that I had put together earlier. So last year, the Panthers were 32nd in yards. They
had
averaged
offense or defense?
269.4 a game. That's offensively. They averaged 31. They were 31st in points at
I'm sorry.
14.8 per game.
How many yards did you say?
269.4 yards a game average. They were
That's
the
god
last
awful.
in the NFL.
I think us four
and-
could average that.
It's very possible.
When you combine that with 29th in points allowed, 25.4 points per game, they're 29th in points allowed, sorry, and they're number 32 in sacks, so they got the least sacks. There's several other stats that go on here. At one point, by week 14, 0.1% chance of making the playoffs. So that, me personally, they went after a left tackle. I believe they got a left tackle in the draft. It makes it a hard argument.
When you say it
makes
like
it
that,
hard.
yeah, they're fucked.
It makes it a hard argument. So, like I said, ceiling. I wanted to make that point. Ceiling. They were 5-12 or whatever. So, to me, can they be a 9-win team? I think they can because of their conference. What will happen to them when they play outside of their conference? Body bags, dude.
Yeah, that's the only thing they
Body
have
bags,
going for
but-
them is their conference.
But their floor is 5-12 again because a left tackle. McMillan at receiver. They signed Hunter Renfrow from the free agency. Rumors of a defensive end. Is that enough to go from 32nd in all these categories to playoff spot? Probably.
They have been rumored in trade talks for Kayvon Thibodeau since the Giants did take Abdul Carter.
I just pray to God they kept Adam
There's a
Thielen.
reason.
They did, and they also brought in Hunter Renfrow.
Oh God, the whites.
Now, he's I will say Hunter Renfrow is a veteran guy. He's a very steady slot receiver, but he has always been a killer football player. I don't know if you guys remember a couple of years ago, dude just murdering a guy on a punt. Now, can we see that in Hunter Renfrow at this point in his career? Well, we'll find out this year.
Calvert.
But I really feel bad for the guy. He's probably going to be getting smoked if a ball gets out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Calvert had the dude in fantasy the last 2 years. I think he had 9 yards. He's fucking washed.
He didn't play last year.
He's terrible.
Yeah, that's why he didn't have any yards.
He was great at Clemson for 11 years.
Yeah,
That was his
he had a
ceiling.
good rookie. He
That
had
was
a
his
good
ceiling.
rookie year and second
Hey,
year
listen,
in Oakland,
no-
though.
As an Alabama fan my entire life, I have been on the Hunter Renfrow,
Hate
hater
train. Yeah.
Absolutely.
hate train, dude. But listen, the guy's a baller. He's a solid ball player. Now, are we talking NFL superstar? No, and that's probably the problem. Is
Yes.
we need some depth at receiver. Like the Niners. And it's going to take some serious changes. I just hope my boy Bryce Young, doesn't get stuck between someone's cleats before they can figure out how to turn this
I
franchise
was about to
around
say.
Yeah.
and go find another quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there might be a few quarterbacks on the Browns that are available, so that was always an option.
Yeah.
Well, at least if he takes them to the playoffs, he's their first non-felon at quarterback to take them to the fucking playoffs.
I don't know. Hey, man, look,
So-
send him to Cleveland.
yeah, it fit right
Bryce
in.
is-
Yeah, it fit right in.
No,
We'd love Bryce. We would
Bryce
love to
Young
have
is an
Bryce.
outstanding
Bet you
dude, man.
would.
Like
I
he's
bet
just
you-
he's an outstanding guy.
yeah.
So I'll be going with that topic. I've actually got a little game for us to play, and it's a Would You Rather edition of Bryce Young. And this is going to make the argument for all of us who, well, I don't, but those of you who think the Panthers could make the jump to the playoffs this year, this could really open your eyes. And I've looked at this, and it does make me really look at this situation. But at the end of the day, the Panthers are still the Panthers. So, but would you rather, Bryce Young edition, would you rather Bryce Young or Spencer Rattler?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young?
Bryce Young.
Absolutely.
No question.
All right. Would you rather Bryce Young or Tyler Shook, the rookie that the Saints drafted?
Bryce Young.
Mr. Young.
Bryce Young.
Would you rather Bryce Young? Now, this is a little bit more of a conversation. Would you rather Bryce Young or Michael Penix Jr.?
No, it's not. He got a fucking neck. Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
I third that.
Yeah, Bryce Young as well. Would you rather Bryce Young or Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Baker
Hear me
Mayfield.
out.
Hear me out.
You've lost.
Hear me out.
You've. Oh,
Don't
God.
you do this,
Fuck.
Cleveland.
Don't
you
do
this
this
to
to
Cleveland.
yourself.
This
You
is
do.
why your
You know,
organization
Cleveland-
I
sucks.
have something to. I'm going somewhere
Get-
with
get
this.
him out
Y'all
here.
just hold on.
Well, you
No,
better
so
get to
my-
going.
Are we talking upside or are we talking this season?
I'm talking
Are we
who
talking-
you want as an organization.
As an organization,
now
so that
till whenever.
factors in everything.
Yeah.
That factors in everything.
If you're factoring in everything, you're making your case worse.
Okay. Right now, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
If we
No
get
shit.
5 to 10 games in and Bryce Young has been a steady, and let's say he's 13, 14, 15 touchdown to 2 to 3 interception ratio with a 90 plus QBR, Bryce
Are
Young.
you talking about Baker Mayfield?
No, I'm saying if
Oh, it sounded
if we
like you
get
were
5
describing Baker Mayfield.
Well, the
I see.
the numbers you
I'm saying
described, I
if
thought
Bryce
you wanted
gets
Tom
to
Brady to come back. Jesus
if
Christ.
Bryce gets to that, give me Bryce because he's got the future. He's got the upside. He's showing that he can be what his draft pick shows he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But now
Fuck.
Baker Mayfield.
Fuck.
I agree.
You-
I was trying to stir the pot a little bit.
You talking about upside is the same thing of me drinking out of this Players Cup and talking about playing at fucking Fayette Country Club.
Hey, listen, just to play devil's advocate here, I've always been a big Bryce fan, and one fun fact about Bryce Young, a lot of people don't realize is how fast the man is. He's had to be fast at the Panthers so he doesn't get smeared, but his 40 times faster than Jalen Hurts. On the downsides to Bryce Young is his size, obviously, and what he's working with. And you just hate to see a guy like him who, in my lifetime, I honestly believe, and I'm going to say this, y'all can hate me, but in my lifetime, he's the best quarterback I've seen in Crimson.
Fuck
That's just
no.
me personally.
Fuck
That's me
no.
personally. Hey,
Not
I'll
even
take
close.
him over any of them.
Mac
I'll take him
Jones
over
look
any
like
of 'em.
Tom Brady. Yeah, absolutely dicing
Yeah,
motherfuckers
He actually
up.
retired. Mac Jones actually retired from the Patriots the same year that Tom Brady did.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
he was traded.
You talked about 40 times with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts runs different than Bryce Young. He runs through dude's
yeah.
chest.
Absolutely, but if you'll go back to Jalen Hurts at Alabama, there's an entire film of how Jalen Hurts left Calvin Ridley in the open field waving his arms as he scrambled out of a pocket with receivers that are butt naked. Calvin Ridley would have led all the stats. Half the time he's walking off
and
the field before
that's
fourth
fair.
down sack's over with.
Jalen Hurts at 19, you're correct. Jalen Hurts won a
Where-
Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, well,
So-
I did say wearing crimson.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did say wearing crimson.
You did.
and
You
that's
did.
my opinion. Just at Alabama.
Jay
Now, right
Coker.
now, obviously,
Jay
guys,
Coker.
Well, you like Jay Coker. You guys
Okay,
are similar.
you love the dog in
Yeah,
it.
and
You
I
love the
do
dog
too.
in it.
For sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
But
I
Mac
get it. I
Jones
get it.
won an all SEC schedule
Yeah, it
and
is. Yeah.
ripped the fucking football down the field.
Yeah.
Absolutely in respect, but I would take Tua over Mac Jones.
God, no. He'll fucking flip over a pussy lip and roll his ankle. Dude was soft as shit.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is that's just me at Alabama, dude. Give me Bryce, give me Tua. You can pile up the rest.
Tua would have been good at Auburn.
Yeah.
Because they're in those moral victories and shit.
So moving on from the Alabama talk, we got another NFL topic. Do we think that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with Pittsburgh, or do we still think there's another team out there?
1,000%.
I want to go first.
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
You say Pittsburgh?
1,000%.
He hangs it up. He's done.
Nope.
He's done.
Nope.
At this
Possible.
point, why hasn't he signed already? That's my thing.
Dude says too
What
high.
is he dragging
works
it out
out
for?
too hard to give it up.
To that, though, Fub, why wouldn't Pittsburgh have already gone out and signed someone else if they hadn't had conversations with him that he was basically coming to Pittsburgh? He was
Trump
just taking
card.
his time.
So
No answer.
I really ain't. I don't have an answer back to that.
That's because he's
but,
coming. Daddy's coming.
You know, I
Consider-
thought that for the longest too. I did.
Well, you better get back to thinking it.
Consider next season's draft, though, and what a lot of teams have done this year, holding out for the quarterback class coming
Yeah.
next season.
Yeah.
If he's going to play, he needs to play now. He needs to play now.
The Steelers ain't getting a good draft pick.
No.
How many years in a row has Mike Tomlin gone?
You
He's
don't-
never had an under 500 season ever.
That's true.
They're
That
not
is
getting a
true.
good draft
For sure.
pick. But
You're not wrong with that.
Aaron
my thing-
Rodgers will be the quarterback for
the
them.
only counter argument I have to that is that Aaron Rodgers has told him he's coming. He's just waiting, and he's waiting to see if the Vikings are still going to give him a call. I know
wanna
they've
go to
said they're
Pittsburgh,
out, but man, that team is ready to go.
Bro, George
And they
Pickens,
don't know if
DK
JJ's the
Metcalf,
guy
man.
yet, though. They don't know if JJ McCarthy's going to be the guy.
If they
yet.
can
That
keep him
team's
out of
ready to
jail,
go.
they'll be good.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, dudes, bro, listen, you're talking about guys that are going down the field and just bodying dudes for no reason.
No,
it is football,
You're talking about
man.
two
I
dudes
love
you
it.
got to watch all the way home. These motherfuckers getting a bar fight.
Hey, they're dogs, man. They're those
Yeah.
guys, dude. I love it.
I
They're the
describe
kind
it
of guys that
differently.
If I'm going to get in a fight, I want them with me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, dude. I'm going to sit back and
Any
I'm gonna play
6'6", 240 guy I want to bring with me. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, look,
Speaking
listen,
of big
talking
tall
about
guys,
DK Metcalf.
Go ahead.
We're talking about DK Metcalf, not just that big. His father was a huge NFL player, played offensive tackle, and obviously we've seen what he does with DBs. There's not a DB out there that's not getting tossed at will when it comes from that guy. Yeah. Anyway.
But
Sorry,
speaking
go
of
ahead.
big guys like that, big pass catchers in the NFL, George Kittle announced his new contract extension on Tuesday when he was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and it's worth $76.4 million over 4 years with $35 million guaranteed in a signing bonus. The deal keeps Kittle under contract with the San Francisco 49ers through the 2029 season, making him the highest paid tight end yearly in the NFL. We have any other reactions to that? I know you spoke something earlier that I don't necessarily agree
I'll go
with.
first here.
But yeah.
I love George Kittle. Like, one of the biggest George Kittle fans in the world. Fuck that. That's a horrible idea. He stays hurt.
But he's still so productive. He was second in the NFL in touchdowns from tight ends last year, and he was first in receiving yards.
How much longer are you going to get that, though?
I'll give you that. The
You
biggest
think you're
problem
going to get
I
it
have-
that long?
No, the biggest problem I have is they still haven't paid Purdy.
I'm okay with that. There's a bunch of 5'7" white guys that can throw it 60 yards. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, and he can't run it. So,
I'm gonna take up for Kittle a little bit here. If we keep Trent Williams healthy, Kittle probably has a better chance at staying healthy. The
how
man
old's
has
Tr-
been blocking
how old's Trent
his
now?
brains out.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that. Trent is old, but Calvin's
No,
got
sure,
a
I'm
great
not hating
point
on
right
Trent
there.
at all. I'm not.
No,
trying
he's
to
a
Trent.
legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a great
I
point.
just
Go ahead. I know
Go
where
ahead.
you're going with this one. Go ahead. I know
well, just
where you're going.
the points of Trent when he is hurt, George Kittle has to make up for that a lot. He's out here in the trenches blocking defensive linemen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it just
George
may play a
Kittle
part
plays
to
left
his wear
tackle.
and tears.
He plays left tackle
Yeah,
when Trent
oh, yeah.
Williams is hurt.
And he can play. Yeah, he's not out here
Essentially.
dating superstars and getting 90s haircuts and not blocking when the play's not going his way. He is down here in the,
No,
in
he's
the
a
ditches
dog.
like a dog.
He's a dog.
He's
Yeah.
a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He ain't in Cleveland. Anyways, go ahead.
No, that was pretty much it. We're gonna move on to our next segment. We're just gonna kind of run down the NBA over the last few days. I know we got the NBA playoffs going on. The Cavs closed out the sweep on the Heat yesterday. They get a 4-0 sweep on them. The Warriors, which the Cavs on the 4-0 sweep, that was my big bet that I liked in the last podcast, and it was only for the reason that I absolutely hated it.
What'd they win by? 25 average?
Yeah, with an 8
It
and a
wasn't
half
even a
point
fucking
spread.
series.
It wasn't. It wasn't. They beat them in every game handily. Pat Riley's being watched in Miami right now. We got the Warriors.
Unfairly.
Do what?
Unfairly.
Yeah, unfairly. Pat Riley's one of the greats. Absolutely. It's very unfair.
It's not even that. He's head office now. He's not doing that peasant shit evaluating players.
You're right. You're right. We got, let's see here what else. We got the Warriors. They lead 3-1 over the Rockets. We think they close out that series tomorrow night, or do we think the Rockets take one?
Who cares? Rockets aren't that good. Warriors are going to win it.
They're a good young team. They're a good young team.
Yeah, okay.
The Pistons beat the Knicks tonight. They take the series at 3-2. I know you were a little upset about that, and
I was.
It's becoming a little bit more of a. This is the series that they're very focused on how the refs are calling the games, and they're saying that that's affecting the series more than anything, which it does affect every
that
series.
That last call of the game before got everybody hard about it. So.
The Pacers close out the series 4-1 over the Bucks after a 119-118 victory in overtime tonight. That's actually the team to watch for me. The
Giannis gonna be a dickhead this offseason where he goes.
Yeah, I think so.
How about the brawl after the game? How about it?
I didn't even see this.
I didn't see it.
So they brawled tonight after the game?
Well, I don't necessarily think it was a brawl, but it was a scuffle.
Is this an Instagram clip or is this for real?
Well, I'm not going to look for it right now, but yeah, it after they closed out the series, I think there were some words said, and it escalated from there.
Well, Giannis ain't going there, so we eliminated that one.
The Celtics also closed out the series 4-1 over the Magic. And a brutal beating, 120-89.
I am kind of high on the Magic coming up.
Yeah, they got a good young bunch.
It's not
Frank
bad.
Wagner, Paulo Banchero.
It's really not bad.
I mean, they did a good bunch. And then the Clippers and Nuggets actually just finished up just recently. The Nuggets win 113-115 and take a 3-2. 131-115, yeah.
Sorry, you said 113.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
131.
They put some points up.
That's my bad. So I got a couple bets I actually like in the NBA tomorrow. I like the Warriors +5, and that is solely because I hate it. And this is the pick I gave out the other day on the Cavs. I hated the pick, and it won. This is another one of those. I think the Warriors.
I don't know why you hate
5.
that.
Man, I like the Rockets. They're a good young team. This is in Houston. I think they're going to get one. It's 3-1. I think they're going to get another one.
Playoff Jimmy Butler
He's
on a
not
team
playing.
On a team that's done this so long. His voice in the locker room.
I get that. But and exactly, you hate it too, don't you? That's why I'm taking it.
Maybe.
I mean, you made my point for me.
I mean, fuck, maybe.
Then I also like the Timberwolves +6 tomorrow versus the Lakers. Say what you want. I actually, as a matter of fact, I think the T-Wolves win this, and I think they close out the series.
The Lakers are fucking terrible.
Exactly.
They're riding a fucking 50-year-old's back that ain't that good. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So,
let's backtrack that a little bit on that little statement of he ain't that good.
He's the third
He
best
ain't what
player
he
of all
was.
time.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Dude,
No, he's not.
We're gonna,
You
dude,
no,
that would be a whole
fuck, he's
podcast to
not.
that conversation.
Since we broke the professionalism, please lean that chest hair a little closer to the camera, dog. And what is that tattoo? Hold on.
Calvert,
Look,
I
I'm
already
sitting here looking at it.
commented on the hamburger meat hanging out.
We're not going to get into details,
Fuck.
but
Are you a LeBron
I gave
fan?
the people what they wanted.
Are you a LeBron fan?
I used to be. I'm not no more.
Yeah.
I'm not an avid LeBron guy.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
fucked
but I do
Cleveland
think
like a
he's a great-
whore on a prom night. So
You're right.
Yeah.
I do think he's the greatest of all time, but that's a whole nother,
In
episode,
basketball or shit talking?
Okay,
He's not
next
in
segment.
shit talking.
I meant like to the
not-
media.
yeah, okay.
Motherfuckers read more books than anybody I know and can't read.
lying.
He's always
dude.
on the first page,
And
too.
can't read.
He's always on the
Yeah,
first
Some bitch
page.
can't read. I got a problem with that. So, anyways, go ahead.
But yeah, so I like those two bets, and I also like, call me crazy here, but I also like parlaying the two dogs on the money line. That is at plus 669, taking the T-Wolves and the and the Warriors money line, both teams to close out the series tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Yes. And then moving on, we had a golf winner given out last week on the episode. That was a big cash for us. Ben Griffin, Andrew Novak, 25-1 winner given out on the first episode. And so I've got 4 more guys, and I know Fub's got a couple guys he's going to throw in. So my long shot for this weekend is actually Trey Mullinax.
Hell yeah.
That's a Bama guy there.
Hell yeah.
And then another one moving down. Trey Mullinax is at 200-1. So that's a little better than what I gave you last week. But I mean,
Get
200-1, lower the units on that. Let's be realistic here. But I think Trey Mullinax does win another tournament by the end of the year. I also have Jacob Bridgman at 60-1. I just like I like the course layout for Jacob Bridgman. I think it's going to work very well for him. And then kind of piggybacking off of last weekend, I'm going to take Ben Griffin again. He paid off for us last weekend, him and Andrew Novak. We'll ride the hand while it's hot. Ben Griffin at 35-1. I think we take a shot at that. He's clearly playing good golf coming off a win last weekend.
He is.
And then this is my actual true favorite pick of the weekend. This is the one that I like the most. That's Sungjae Im at 22-1. He's a great iron player. He works the angles of a golf course really well, and this course layout plays very well into his hands for that. Fub, who are the golf picks that you got for us?
So I only got one. That is Mr. Eric Cole with 75-1 odds. He had a solid rookie year on the tour, and he looks like the caddy off of Happy Gilmore. So if you want to make some money, put your money on him.
Boy, has he messed this up.
I'm gonna leave it there.
You want to address this?
What the fuck did he say?
He said Eric Cole looks like the Happy Gilmore caddy.
No, the fuck he doesn't. It's fucking Will
Zalatoris. Don't hurt yourself over there.
Zalatoris.
Will
Say it with your
Zalatoris.
chest hair. Zalatoris. Fucking let it get a little.
Zalatoris.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Zalatoris.
So I think what you
Okay,
were trying
yeah.
to say is you have two guys, and it's Eric Cole and Will Zalatoris.
I only had one guy written down. I apologize. I apologize.
Your fucking pen ran out of ink. Fucking Cleveland fan.
Yeah. And so now we're going to move on to our last segment. We haven't introduced it yet, but Neil is a cornhole player in the ACO, and he's going to give us a big rundown of this weekend's major down in Mobile, Alabama. I'm actually going to slide out of the camera. I'm going to let Neil take this one over, and then I'll slide back in for a couple questions at the end. And you guys can also ask any questions that y'all have as far as his cornhole career.
Well, you can stay in and ask questions if you want
No,
to.
I'm going to. I'm gonna let you take the camera for just a second, give your rundown for this weekend's major, and then we're gonna all slide back, or I'm gonna slide back in. They're gonna stay here, and we're gonna ask you some questions about your cornhole career. So take it away, Neil.
All right, so we're going straight into picks.
Hold on. Before you start,
Go ahead.
where's my hat?
He did promise this.
Yeah, you got to switch hats for this. We got to rep the brand. I'm gonna refill my cup. It's water. I got to work tomorrow. All right, you ready, Fub?
Waiting on you, baby.
All right, we're gonna go in order. Friday is women's, juniors, seniors. So, women's, we got 29 right now in this field. It may grow. I'm gonna go based off what we got. I like Ashley Irvin, Jennifer Lucas, really big one. Hadn't played all year. Can win it for real. Her backstory is amazing. Just beat cancer. Huge fan. Huge fan. Jordan Kirk has competed in everything she's been in all year. But I'll give you your winner now. It's either going to be Kennedy Meineke or Kim Jackson. We'll move on to seniors. This field is very small, really disappointing for an Alabama major. A lot of the big time Alabama guys not going to be there. I will take the famous Gary Ferguson, who is a former world champion, to take down seniors. And now we'll move on to juniors. Again, same thing. There's a lot of good juniors players not coming. And I don't know why. I don't like it. It's going to be Chase Hollis. Lane Cruz is coming. When he's right, kid's good. Lonnie Campos, whatever you want to call him. Florida kid, big baseball recruit. Dude's a dog. Competes at everything.
Dog.
If they keep score, dude competes.
How old is this kid? Is he close to graduating?
I think he's a senior. He may be a junior. He's like a top 50 baseball recruit.
Oh, wow.
But he's a fucking hell of a cornhole player. Plays for Ruthless Bags out of Michigan. I'll take Lonnie and Chase Hollis. Everybody else is playing for fucking second place. We'll go to co-ed. Loaded field, 34 teams. You got Chase Puckett and Megan Puckett. Won a lot. This time last year, they got hot. You got Craig and Ashley Irvin, always compete. And as y'all keep up with this more and more, like y'all will get familiar. David Stokes and Jennifer Lucas, if they're both right, really have a chance. Douglas Parker, Lisa Barber. Man, this one's tough. I'll go Kendall Cox and Chase Hollis. Keep an eye out for Kennedy and Hunter. And Russell and Martina. It's loaded, man. There's 10 teams that can win that. We're going to get to doubles on Saturday. And Saturday's where the important shit happens. Doubles and singles. I'll take the 3-time world champions, Caleb Rogers, Riley Brewster, Grasshopper, which is Riley. He's struggling right now. He's frustrated. But these dudes win all the time for a reason. They can win any style of game, and they've matured so much mentally. They've been, like, you got to realize, they've won every tournament they've went to since they were 10 years old. They're 18 and 17 now, or 18 and 16. Like, they're punch drunk at this point. If they don't play the best, they don't even play their best because they don't have to. I'm that confident in them. I like Jack and Doug here, but they're not a good matchup for them. But there's a sleepy team. This guy's just coming back. Matthew Arsenault and Tyler Goodwin. Amish. So it's going to break this weekend. He left the ACL and is coming back. And this dude may win King of Cornhole at Worlds. He's that good. So I'll go with those. I like Craig and Russell too, but Caleb and Grasshopper. Singles is pretty simple. Amish, Tyler Goodwin will take down singles. I like Brett Jefferson here. I like Daryl Macon. I really like Dustin Arant. I like Douglas Parker. I would pick Jack Harcrow. The boards are going to be slow down there. That venue's on the water. Humidity's high. Really, Caleb Rogers might win it. But I'm going to go with Tyler Goodwin to take it all down. So, that'll be my picks.
I'm going to slide back in here. So there's a lot to run down, obviously. We're trying to kind of move over and also into the cornhole space. We're gonna have Neil on every week to cover the cornhole, or at least for every major, to kind of come in and cover some cornhole because we know
And we
there's
got
not
to
a
do
lot.
worlds.
Yeah, and worlds and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of coverage out there for cornhole, and it is probably America's number one growing sport. Is that? I mean,
If
is
it's
that
not,
accurate to
it's
say?
close.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really on the come up. And where can we watch this weekend? Is there anywhere you can tune in and
So
watch all this?
it should always be live on YouTube.
Okay, what is it like the ACO cornhole page?
It's American Cornhole Organization, ACO's page. Yeah, either way you can find it.
Okay, and so the Tyler Goodwin guy, is that the Amish guy? Is that the guy that's coming from ACL over to ACO?
Yeah, so it'll come official this weekend. And it's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Okay.
And he knows it's going to. Was with him tonight, like 3 hours ago. I mean, I don't want to speak for him. He's more at home here. He's one of the best players in the world, point blank. Period.
Mhm.
Dude can win any tournaments he at. It's just him being right.
He's a really good player, and he's making the transition. So he left ACO, is that right? And went to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ACL,
yeah.
and now he's coming from the ACL back to the ACO.
Yeah, he made the qualifier at the ACL, signed the contract. Now he's coming back.
Okay,
So
got you.
I feel like he's got a fire lit under his ass right now. He's gonna get after it.
So he's motivated. Okay, I got you. Well, that was like I said, there's a lot to run down, but there's not a lot of places you can get this information, not a lot of places you can get this coverage. And Neil, being one of the guys that's around these guys all the time, we feel like he's a great person to bring this information to everyone.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Y'all are gonna like keep up with it.
Yeah.
Because nobody that doesn't play or that's not a bag maker or involved with the organization keeps up with it. So I think it's a really good thing for y'all.
It's very fun to watch. I will say that
It is.
I went
It
and
is.
watched you play last Friday night. It's a very fun game to watch, and
It is.
it's a great community to be around too. I've noticed that just in
That's the
events
biggest
I've been
thing,
to.
man. That's the biggest thing.
So I'm also going to open it up to these guys a little bit too. Do you guys have any questions for Neil? I got a couple, but I just was going to see if you guys had any questions for him on his cornhole journey and everything like that.
Well, first off, something that I've been sitting here thinking is, there's probably a lot of people that listen to this and they think they know cornhole because they played it, Bevel State or whatever.
Yeah.
And from what I've collected, some of these games get outrageous, where it pretty much just comes down to like the first team to miss,
Yeah.
and you're talking like a long time of playing. So tell us about that. Tell us what real cornhole is all about.
It changes like what you're talking about from the backyard game to that level. You can't miss because when you do, you're beat.
Yeah, that's so it's very similar to like a breakdown from throwing the football in the backyard with your buddies, and transition into a profession. I mean, it's kind of hard to transition to professional level from there, but even transition into like a college level from throwing the ball in the backyard with your friends, those windows that you can fit a ball in close drastically
Yeah.
different speeds.
Yeah.
So it
The
sounds
most
like
comparable thing would be golf.
okay, yeah, that makes a
Um,
lot of sense.
It's so individual, and like Calvert, let's say me and you were playing together against Fub and Drew. I don't miss a bag for 6 rounds, but you missed 2 bags all 6 of those rounds, and they both threw a 10. We still lost. Like, it's just you can play good, but not good enough. That's
How
what
long
makes
do
it
some of these
tough.
matches last?
I watched Tyler Goodwin, the guy I was talking about earlier, and Gary Bearpaw play for over an hour at a major worldwide tournament. They went 42 rounds. It may have been 44. They both threw over an 11 PPR. They didn't miss no bags, man.
Just to sum this up for you, Calvert, I know this is very related to your question here. I went to a tournament with Neil one time, and this is just one of the more smaller tournaments I've went to. And I, around at the barbecue with the guys, I'm okay. I'm pretty decent cornhole player. Well, I go to one of these
Tell
events
this while I
with Neil.
pee.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. I go to one of these events with Neil, and it's a blind draw. We did singles first, so I decided to play in the singles first. Neil, take them with you right quick. So I decided to play in the singles first, and then I got in the blind draw. Well, the singles did not last very long for me at all. We went down, back, down, and the game was over. So these guys are on a different level.
I think it's even all the way down to the equipment. Like their boards are different, their bags are
Oh,
different.
yeah. Well, I mean, he was
Um,
just talking about it being slower boards down there on the
yeah.
water venue. I mean, like they know this stuff so much more, and they pay attention to things a lot more than we do. It's not your cornhole bags and boards you can go down there to Walmart and pick up. It ain't the same thing. Um, but yeah, it is very fun. I felt terrible for them poor fellas that got me in the blind draw. I just watched their faces just
Yeah.
decimate as they were.
So
Yeah.
what gets me, man, is the thing that intrigues me the most about the learning curve here that we're talking about with cornhole is I know these guys that I go to school with, and they might even have an ego in something like cornhole like this, and because they can get on a hot streak and hit a couple bags in the hole, but apparently once you get to that level, we're looking at that's the standard, and it's how long you can do that. So that's incredible.
I
I
do
think
have a question for
his
Neil.
Bluetooth disconnected. Better.
All right, try and go ahead now.
Can you hear me, Neil?
No, okay. Well, here I'm gonna take these off. I think you can hear
You're currently
with
having
these.
technical difficulties. If you don't mind, please do not leave this podcast. We will return to you in just a moment.
Well, Neil,
And
I apologize, Calvert. So, Mr. Tyler Goodwin, big
Badass.
Amish guy,
Badass.
coming from the ACL to the ACO.
Well,
Is he a friend of yours?
that's my guy.
I'm going somewhere
Yeah,
with this. Just
he's a
hold up.
Ram
That's your
99
guy?
guy. He came from the ACO, so like we kind of started at a similar time. I got a lot of fun stories about him starting out. The crazy thing with him is though, man, is this game's just like anything else. He has a lot of natural ability, and there's you don't see it often with people who just pick it up and have it, and dude's fucking got it. Okay, when he's right, he'll beat anybody in the world on any level. I don't care. We can go to Argentina. We can go to Canada. We can come back to South Florida, back out to Oregon. Motherfuckers got it.
Well, whenever that house of yours is finished,
Oh, he'll
give me a
be there.
12 pack. I'll run his ass some money. You hear
Well,
me?
he'll.
I will run him for some
Yeah,
fucking
you may
money.
want to go ahead
You
and
give me a
start
12
writing him
pack, dog.
checks now, because he's gonna get them. Uh, no, he's that dude, man. I'm telling you, when he's right, he's different. His big thing's not throwing the bag though. You know where a lot of people struggle. The thing with him is mental. But when he's right mentally and he's settled in throwing, I don't think he's beatable. I really don't.
Compare him to a current or former NBA player. If he was comparable to one player, who would you say?
Ah, man.
I know it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
compare, but
I kind of like him as like an Allen Iverson type guy. He came in kind of behind the eight ball, like figuring it out, bags, what type of player he wanted to be, whether it be running bags or, a block and roll type game. But the thing with him is, man, he can win either way. So I would say Allen Iverson. Like a lot of stacked against him, but just a fucking dog, man, and competitive as shit. When he's right mentally, I'll stand by. When he's completely right, he's outside of the hurts. I don't think there's anybody in the ACO better, and it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise because he's been gone, and they don't think he's coming back. We found out tonight he's coming back. He told me I could talk about it. I was with him 2 hours ago. After this weekend, when he goes down to Mobile and beats the shit out of everybody, and I'm going out on a limb there. There's a lot of dudes that can win it. Like, there's 20 dudes that can win that major. Like, that's no joke. But if he's right, regardless of board conditions, he's going to win it. So, and I'm high on Caleb Rogers down there too, just because it's going to be tacky. And Caleb's my guy, one of the toughest dudes in the game. He's a kid, but like I said, him and Grasshopper, they've played at the pro level since they were 10. Now they're seniors in high school and shit. So like it's been crazy to watch them grow up, like from my standpoint, but still, I'll go with Amish.
It's crazy to think about how much you only can grasp so much about the sport of cornhole in the backyard with a beer in your hand. But, you know, as we've been friends over the years and me and you have spoken about it, and, I've learned more tonight than I have over the years of me and you being buddies. But it's insane to think about how much goes into the sport of cornhole. I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah, it's different, and like I said, like the people that don't see it at that level, like they really don't get it. It's what's cool about it to me is the people when they just start out in the backyard and then do get to see it at this level. It's awesome. Like it's awesome. That I mean, that's really
Yeah.
what makes me enjoy it. But like me and Haley started out the same way. Like we went to our first major in Panama City, dude. Like I had to throw those shoes away. I pissed down my legs so much they were piss stained. And I mean, it's really it is you. That's when you walk in and realize like this shit is different. So and in a good way, like everybody's extremely welcoming. It's a lot of fun. Like I would tell everybody to go. Like us four could go and not play and have a blast. I would never do that. I mean, I'm gonna play if I'm there, obviously, but I'm trying to figure out the winning part still. Like, I'm not at these dudes' level I'm talking about. But like when you get to watch them when they're really in the groove, it's different.
So
Yeah.
I haven't been around to hear you guys' questions. I was trying to work on the headphone situation. But I do have one question for you, and they may have, somehow crossed this question in some of their questions to you.
You stole my question. I'm hitting you.
So it's not really a question, but I want you to kind of give us a rundown of like a travel to a major situation, because I know there's a lot of events and a lot of different locations.
Yeah, I don't even know how many majors there were this year. I feel like it was the most ever. It may not have been. But like what kind of I mean, that's like a 10-part answer.
Just give me one. I know last year, didn't you go to South Bend? Was that a major?
I've been to South Bend two, 3 times. Two. We missed one with Haley on MasterChef, so
Okay.
2 times.
So just kind of give me a rundown, like when you get to South Bend, what's it like? What are we doing? Is the venue where you're staying? Like what's a
Yeah,
weekend
that's
there?
a big one. So like the hotel's built into the venue. I think it's a 4 Points by Sheridan. Those big ones like that, depending on where you're at in the city. But like our full breakdown, like on when we leave, like
No, just kind of like what's going on while you're there. What are you doing in between games? What are you doing, while you're there?
that again, that kind of depends if you're winning or losing. If you're
Right.
winning,
Yeah.
your ass kind of sits there and has another beer and thinks this is going well.
Yeah.
If you're losing, you think, why
Have
the
a few
fuck?
more beers.
Yeah, yeah. Let's get a bucket of beer and a shot. And why the fuck did I come 12 hours to get my shit kicked in throwing a bean bag and a piece of plywood? I mean, like, those thoughts have crossed my mind before, like, just being honest. But that's part of it. When it goes good, it feels really good. But that's why I compare it to golf. You hit that one shot,
Get you right back on track.
you'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so the next time me and Haley talk about going to major and we just pissed down our leg and sucked, it's like, well, shit, what if we don't this time? Yeah. So it's kind of chasing that goal, that dream, whatever you want to call it, that makes it, to anybody that's a competitor. Because, like, let's be honest, anybody can throw a bag.
Yeah.
It's just getting to that point. So,
Yeah. You keep mentioning Haley, and for those that don't know, I get Haley's your fiance. I don't have to introduce her, but I know you mentioned something about the Master Chef. She's obviously impressive, and one thing that I was going to bring up, and I'm not even clowning on you because number one, she's not your average lady, and I noticed that right now she's smoking you by a good 44 spots in the ACO rankings. So tell us a little bit
absolutely.
about her.
She's a better singles player than I am right now.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Oh, she's up there. Yeah.
she's streaky though. The thing with her is, which I think she'll tell you this too. She's a fucking head case, man. In cornhole, like she's had a hard time adjusting from the team aspect to the individual aspect because she played college softball, so like that's a team event. They had 9 players with subs, and everybody had a role.
Yeah.
Especially when she got to college. Like, even if you were handing out water, like, if we need you to run bases, you got to be ready.
In like a team event, like, so if y'all are playing together, whoever she's playing with, in that particular situation that you like related to softball, maybe there's a situation where she's playing against somebody who's blocking really well, and she's having to rely on her
She wants
teammates
to
to
run
score.
bags, and it's hard for her to let off the gas. Like, so we have two completely different play styles. We throw the same bags now, which is awesome. Like that's definitely made us better. I really think going into next year, next season, anyways, like we're in a really good spot. But we were number one in co-ed for over half this season, and we were top 20 in doubles for over half this season. But she gets frustrated, like, and I don't want to speak for her, but like she's very fiery. So she wants to score every time and she wants to throw every bag in the hole. I do not. I'm okay with two bags in front of the hole and two air mails decide the round. I can live with that. I'm okay with that. I think it's fun. She absolutely hates it, would pull her hair out for just me saying that. And and I've adapted a little bit and she's adapted a little bit and we've kind of fed off each other. It's worked well. We're not where we want to be by any means, but she's a better singles player for that reason. So she throws slow bags straight down the fucking middle and wants every bag in the hole. If you ask me to play that way, I'd rather jump off the building. Like I can't fucking do it. I hope to get to there, and I know she would tell you the same thing. She hopes to like be able to block a little more and be able to rely on the airmail a little more. But it's whatever you get comfortable with, man. So there's no right or
Yeah.
wrong answer.
Yeah. But she's obviously got a drive and she's successful and it seems like everything that I hear about her. So I wasn't crapping on you. I was bragging on
No,
her.
yeah,
So
no, it doesn't bother
yeah.
me at all, man. I'll ride her coattails for as long as I live. We're about to get married for a reason. I'm good with it. Yeah,
Absolutely, man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, if y'all don't have anything else, do y'all have anything else for him?
I don't.
It's always good talking to you, Neil. Always.
Absolutely.
I know you. I know you said you had to give a couple of rundowns. So, what kind of bags we throwing?
Gusto Cornhole, man. Y'all get on gustocornhole.com. You can use code mullet. You get a discount on bags
Now, why would they use the code mullet?
because that saves them
We gotta
money.
see it.
Well, I mean, I know,
We
but
gotta
why would
see
they?
it.
Why is it mullet?
It'd be right here. Jay Boogie came up with that on a drunk Tuesday night. That's my guy, man. He owns Gusto Cornhole. He bought stock in me and Haley from day one. I will always support that dude. So y'all go get some bags at Gusto Cornhole.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up tonight, guys. Neil, we appreciate you coming. Fub, we appreciate you coming in, giving us some takes on Cleveland. And Calvert,
Always.
glad to have you back, buddy. It wasn't the same
Yeah.
without you.
Dude, I'm sorry about tonight as well. I just got worked to death today. I'm going to leave my job out of it, but I just got worked to death. I walked straight in the door. My kids are asleep and I got to work trying to get this thing set up. I'm glad to be here.
Got you. Well, guys, if you don't mind, we're going to post this. This will be on YouTube, Spotify. If you guys don't mind, give us a like, maybe a comment. Just support us, guys. We would appreciate it. And we look forward to the next episode. It'll be out Friday, well, early Friday. We'll record late Thursday night. And we'll check on golf, see how it's going, and also look forward to UFC this weekend.
Hell yeah.
Y'all have a good one.
Hey,